welcome back to another episode of Customized Any Ride. It's your boy, Money Rich Dubreal Sparkle in the building. And today I'm with my brothers. What's up, G Money?
I think he on mute.
You on mute?
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
he might have muted. There
What's
you go.
cracking?
My bad, bro.
Too excited, man. Hey, he's too excited, bro.
I don't know how that happened, but
Hell no, yeah.
I'm with
We
my other
here.
L Boogie.
Yeah, Boogie. What up? What up? How y'all doing?
And to my right over there, my other brother, Relly Reels in the house. What's up?
What's going on, folks? What's popping?
And today, man, Customized Any Ride, man, want to present a special guest, man. This man don't need no introduction, man, because he's been in the game for a minute with that Hellcat, the rap, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about all that and a little bit of other stuff. So, no further ado, Mission Flyer, what's up, bro?
What's going on,
What's
brother?
happening, man? What's happening? Glad to be here.
Yeah, bro.
Finally. Talked to El Boogie a
Salute.
while ago, but yeah, man, I'm happy to be here, man. I appreciate you guys, and I love what you guys are doing.
Man, thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate you for all
Yes,
you done
sir.
for the game.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. No
You
problem.
done a lot for the game. So, man, let's get this started. But you know what? I'm not even going to talk about the car right now. I ain't going to talk about none of that. I'm going to talk about what we just talked about not too long ago, the Lakers and Golden State.
I'm just a Lakers fan, man. The Lakers, LeBron's back, man, so he got it.
Yeah, yeah.
We going to see tonight, so everybody stay tuned, man, because, you know, that's going to be a good game tonight. So everybody make sure they watch that game. But let's do
Absolutely.
the podcast first.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Mr. Fly, why don't you tell Carnation about yourself?
Like, what do you want to know?
Anything, man. Your car, your life, you know, how you came up, where you came from, you know, anything.
So, yeah, man. So originally, I was born in Jamaica. I grew up in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. I came
Alright.
over to the States when I was 13, and I lived in Philly with my dad, and then my mom lived in New York. So in the summer times, I go to New York to stay with my mom, and in school year, I stayed in Philly with my dads and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So I've always loved cars from a little kid, man. So I've always been into cars from I was at a young age. So it kind of I knew I wanted to be able to work on cars, do stuff with cars from back then.
Cool, cool. That's what it is right there, man.
So how long have you been, like, do you work on cars yourself, or do you have somebody work on your cars, or you just hands on?
I'm hands on. I do it all myself. I'll take my car completely apart and put it back together and figure it out.
Hey, he is not lying. He is not
Hey.
lying. He is
So
not
what
If
you
it
lying.
break, it's
So-
your fault. If it break, it's your fault.
Yeah, so kind of give you a little bit of like context, man. Like, man, I was in the military before I retired. So like earlier on in my early career, man, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. So it was like I had some people work on my car, and I'm very like OCD or particular when it comes to something that I want, especially if I paid for it, and they do it wrong, and then they come in and it's like, oh no, that's not what you're asked for, that's how it's supposed to be, and I know it's different. So like almost gotten a few instances, man, like you have to, hey man, you gotta check it. You about to go to jail. I was like, yeah, you right,
Yeah.
and on top of that, she was like, you're in the military, so you're gonna get more in trouble than you was if you wasn't in the military. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work on cars myself. So I've been working on it. Like what I do, I just used to take stuff apart just to see how it works and put it back together. And some of the times it don't work, then I'll call people, or I had a stack of Shilton's manuals. You could go before there was YouTube and all that. You had them books, so I used to go and buy those Shilton manuals and go by and take it all apart and put it back together. And so I did some body work. So what I did is I used to go to like the shops on the weekends. Like, hey, I just want to watch you guys and learn. I'll clean up. I don't want to get paid. I just want to learn. So that's how I did that as well.
That's dope, man.
That's a good idea, bro. That's a good idea.
Hey, I'm telling you, hey, Rich, when he say he'll take his car apart, like I seen some of his videos, bro, and like it's like the whole corner, rear car disassembled, bro. I'm like, I'm gonna have to call somebody in to come and put this back together.
Right.
I'm gonna give my boy some help.
Everything on the ground. You're right. Everything on the ground. DIY, man. Like everything on the ground. Like I see everything. The rollers up here.
Yeah.
Pins
But
up,
a lot of times, some of the times I have to just walk away because I was like, man, I'm just gonna light this thing on fire. But I just gotta take a break. Sometimes so I gotta take a break, walk away, and then and then come back. And then when you come back on a cooler head, you'll feel like, oh man, that was so simple. Or I'll call people like, hey man, what do you think about this? Like what I figure is like I'm not the expert at anything. I just want to know enough so I could get by, help my friends. I just say enough to be dangerous. So
there you go.
Really, just enough to be dangerous. So that's how I kind of got into working on cars. I've always done them like that. And back in the day when I lived in Jamaica, my dad owned a bunch of cars, and what he did was he had drivers, and then they would go and pick up the tourists off of the cruise ship and drive them around the island. So like he had his car, so like he'd work on them himself and stuff like that. So I'd go out there and do the same thing. And I used to get up like early in the morning. So growing up in Jamaica, so my job was I had to get up early in the morning and I had to bring the goats and go tie them off so they could go eat all day. And then when I go and tied the goats off, I came back and I washed his personal car, and then we are off to school. And then that's what I used to do. But then I got kind of banned from doing that.
How you get banned from?
You did something.
So my dad, like when he get money and tips, like he never counted his money. He just always came home and then just took a pile of money and just put it on the counter. So when I used to go up, get up in the morning to go wash his car, he's still sleeping. My mom's not there, so I was like, I just started taking like $5 in Jamaican money, and then I was like, on the way to after I get to school, so like donuts was a big thing. So I was like, I buy these jelly donuts. It's like, oh man, where you get money from? I was like, oh man, my dad gave me some money, and then and then I was like, so it's like, well, and then every time I went back, I took like more and more. And as a kid, you're not thinking like you're eventually gonna get catch. I was like, I'll never get. So I think caught on one day, and then so I went in there. I looked around. I was like, oh, he's sleeping. I'm taking the money. I put in my pocket. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I got busted.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna take $5 a day, and next week I'm taking $10. You know?
Trying to Pops how much you get away with, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when my kids do stuff now, I was like, hey man, I know what you're doing.
Right. I do that same thing.
Yeah.
So in the YouTube world, man, and beyond that, man, you're like a legend, man. Like they say you the first man on YouTube, a black man
There you
with
go.
a Hellcat.
Right. So when the Hellcats were first, they announced the Hellcats. I was like, oh, the Hellcats are coming out. And I told my wife, before this, I was always into imports. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, I'm going to buy a Hellcat. And she's like, yeah. Like just blowing up. Yeah, you go and do it. And then when they first came out, so they came out, I think, maybe the end of 2014, because the first ones were 2015s. And they came out, and then they were marking them up $10,000 to $20,000. And I was like, oh, man, I'll never be able to afford one. So I went, I was stationed in North Carolina up at Pope Bragg. And then I moved to Florida. But when I came to Florida, I had to go to training in New Mexico for like a year. So for people who aren't affiliated with the military, they'll pay you what's called like a per diem. So like since you're away from your family, they'll give you a per diem and then also pay you like family separation for every month. So I was out there for a year. So like I saved up all the money that I wouldn't have made. And I was like, yeah. And then fast forward to, I bought my Hellcat in November of 2015. So that just came out. So I was actually getting ready to go on a deployment but it was coming up on Thanksgiving. And I was like, hey, I asked if I could go on leave with my family before I deployed. And they was like, no, because we don't know when the mission may leave. We may leave earlier. So my family went on Thanksgiving without me. So I was just home one day and I was like, I just went by the Dodge dealership and I looked and there's like, oh man, there's a Hellcat on the showroom floor. At that time, you had to have only order them. But somebody had ordered it because when you order them, they'll come when a sticker come. They come with your name on the window sticker.
Right.
So the guy who ordered it, I guess he couldn't get it or didn't want it when it came in. And I looked at it, it was a manual. I was like, oh man. But they had $15,000 markup on it. And I was like, so I talked to the guy. I was like, yeah, it's 15. I was like, man, I can't believe that. So I didn't get it. And then the next day he called me back. He was like, we'll take the $15,000 off if you buy it today. So I was like, what? But no, so that's when the Challengers are out. I really wanted a Charger, but at the time they wasn't making the Charger Hellcats yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So I called my wife and I was like, yeah, they have one on the floor. She was like, we could fit the whole family. I was like, yeah, you could fit the whole family. So she was like, go ahead and get it. I was like, you're right. So I bought it. I bought my Hellcat. It's a 2015. I bought it in 2015 when they first came out. And when she came home, she was like, where's the other two doors? I was like, they're not out yet. So
get back there.
yeah, so we got back there. So I bought it. I deployed. I came back, and I went on. I don't know what it was. Like I had this idea, like I'm gonna make some YouTube videos. So at the time, when I went on YouTube and typed in Hellcat, it was only one other person at the time was posting YouTube videos with a Hellcat, and it was Street Speed 717. He had a white manual just like mine. So I just went out there. It took me a while. I went out there and I was like, I'm gonna start doing some videos. But I had no idea of what I was doing as far as like editing, shooting. So I had a GoPro and I started shooting. I was like, all right, how am I gonna get these videos up here? Like you gotta edit. So what I did was like I asked people, I was like, hey, could you help me? I'll pay you. Could you help me? And people say, oh yeah. But nobody ever helped me. So no lie, this is what I do. I had 2 monitors. I would have I ordered Premiere Pro. I have Premiere Pro on this screen and I had YouTube on this screen. I'd watch it's like, okay, this is how you cut and paste. Pause. Cut and paste. And that's how I did it back and forth for a while, you know. And then I did a few videos and then I had to deploy. Being part of like special ops and stuff like that, one of the things that you have to do when you leave is you turn off all of your social media because believe it or not, the ISIS, they use social media to track military members and see what they're doing. So you go through all these briefings, so you turn off all your social media. And I never really had what my real name was and stuff like that. So I turned it off, and then when I came back, there was a new guy that had a Hellcat Charger, and it was Kevin Van Voorst. I was like, what? So we did it. But at that time, if I knew how YouTube worked, I think I'd have put more videos out because at the time I was like, I didn't know how it worked. And also I didn't want to advertise that I was doing videos because of my job, and my job could tell me to stop posting videos. And I didn't want them to tell me to stop posting videos. So I'd sporadically do videos here and there. But I think if I had to do it all over again, like when I watched E-Vapes, like what he's doing with his family channel, back those videos and have something, bam. Consistency is key because believe it or not, me and Street Speed 717, we had about the same amount of subscribers. Kevin Van Boris had less subscribers than me, but they just kept, they were there and they were able to do it, and I stopped. And like when some of the times I look at it, and I was like, I get discouraged. I was like, I'm not even gonna do any more videos. But then like that's where like a good support system. So my wife was like, you like doing the videos? Go ahead and just do the videos. But she's like, she don't want to have no parts of it. She was like, I don't even like you. Like, if you know this, my wife is not in any of the videos. She's like, I don't even know how this YouTube, I have no parts of it, but if that's what you want to do, I'll support you 100%, but I don't want to be in it or be in it or anything like that. So I was like, cool. So, the kids used to be in it. They used to love to do it, but they got older and teenager. Oh, they're too cool. No, Dad, I can't be in the videos with you. Like the kids, they won't even tell people. I was like, did you tell your friends I have a YouTube video? I was like, no. But believe it or not, so their friends are actually bigger supporters of me and my channel than my actual kids.
Hey, that's crazy. But that's how it goes though. A lot of the times, you know what I mean. So
yeah,
that's what.
Yeah. So even now, like everybody doing, like my wife is very. She's like a behind the scenes type person, but she'll support what I'll do to a certain extent.
Right. So to piggyback, this also is my last question. I'm gonna pass it to G Money, by the way.
Okay.
To piggyback off what I was saying earlier, so how do it feel to be the person that say got the trend with the Hellcat going, and how do it feel when people come up to you and be like, "Man, you're the reason why I got a Hellcat. You're the reason why I started YouTube." How did that make you feel?
It made me, to be honest, it made me feel good, and I'll tell you why. I may not be like have the most subscribers, but a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people know who I am and have come up to me and say, "Hey man, you're the reason about the Scat Pack, and you're the reason this." And I was like, "I'm proud of you, man, but work." I was like, "Work on it." I was like, "Why you didn't get a Hellcat?" Like, all the money in my credit. I was like, "Work on it and get a Hellcat," because at the time, it was like, it was almost like African Americans isn't supposed to have anything expensive, because I could be somewhere and I have the car and I walk up to it and they look like, "This motherfucker about to steal this car." I was like, "Nah, this is mine." And they're like, "This is yours?"
What does he do?
And that's the next question. What do you do for a living?
You play football. You play basketball.
So believe it or not, I went to Tampa. My cousin lived in Tampa, and I stayed at a hotel. And this one, when they first came there, it was like the people was like, "We don't want nobody to drive it. Just leave it out front." So I come out there, everybody was like, and I used to have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers license plate because it was black. So everybody was like, "Oh man, what position you play?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, man, Hellcat. What position you play for the Bucks?" I was like, "Nah, man, I'm in the military." He's like, "You can afford a Hellcat?" But that's what I always taught my kids. Tell them, that, we got to start getting the mentality of like, "Oh, only white people buy those cars. Oh, hey, we're just limiting ourselves." So when I see people of color with Hellcats, Red Eyes, Demon, I feel, it's proud. That's kind of why, like I joined the military, to kind of give everybody a chance. I tell my kids I joined the military so you guys don't have to, because you sacrifice and you give up a lot more than what people really know. So I was like, "Hey man, go out, live your dream, buy whatever it doesn't matter what people say, because you know what, they're gonna say it anyway."
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So to answer your question, it do make me feel good. I was like, I'm just a like a regular person at the end of the day, but it do make me feel proud. I was like that's why I don't cuss on my channel. I try and stay positive, because a lot of kids watch the channel as well, and I want to give a positive image. But on the same note, a lot of people don't mess with me because it's like, "Oh, who does he think he is? He all speaks all proper. He's educated." because my wife tells me that all the time. But I'm serious. But the thing is, they don't know what I did before. I talked to Rails about my
Yeah.
life before the
Yeah.
military, and it's like
Yeah.
I had to leave that behind, and I don't bring it up or cause the past is the past. And if you think about the past too much, you kind of try and revert back to the past. So like, I kind of like all the stuff that people think is cool or whatever. I did all this stuff, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's, at the end of the day, it's not what it is, and I separate myself and I try to go to the right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, let me give a shout out. Before I give you before, let me shout out the chat real quick.
Okay.
What's up with Euro Auto Enthusiasts, E-Vapors family, Destroyer 1320. Fly by, you ain't supposed to be in the chat, brother.
I gotta be. I gotta tell my people what's up.
JTRD in the chat. Walking with Angie and Kids in the chat. El Boogie up in there too. What's up, brother? Dr. Anderson is in the chat.
Yes, sir.
The Real New York's in the chat. Let's see who else is up in here. Brandon, Mr. Hustle Hard in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Sasha Anderson.
Definitely got to get a major shout out to Authentic Benny in the chat.
Yeah, Authentic.
What?
Benny up in the house.
Benny, yeah, Benny is in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah, so-
hey man, tell Benny he's gonna tell the people what he do or he want me to tell him.
Yeah, man. Hey, that would.
Hey, that's the mystery, man. That's the mystery.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hey, he like
should
Tommy.
never-
Tommy ain't got no job.
He should never. I know he said he was gonna tell him. I was like, I don't think you should tell people what he do at all. Just keep it that mystery
Yeah,
about
keep
it.
it
Yeah.
secret, man. Hey, be
Yeah.
like John. Hey, Tommy. Now nobody know what Tommy do.
Now,
You
you,
know?
you people like how some channels have that thing, right? Like Stunner
Yeah.
Reese got, he's gonna push that garage door button and he gonna run and he
Run.
gonna jump out of the garage.
And then one day you always say he always gonna hit his head, and he never hit his head.
That's why I told Stunner Reese, I said, bro, don't ever fix it, man. That's your thing.
Yeah, we still got stuff. Hold on, we got Lefty in the building. The Real New York in the building. DDS Danny in the building.
We got Jenna Reels in the building.
Absolutely. Man. Absolutely. Yes,
Let's see
sir.
who else up in here.
We got exotic Frenchie. They got exotic Frenchie.
A lot of Frenchies in here too, yo.
Yeah.
In the building.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's up,
sir.
Frankie?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
big time
That's
shout out to
anybody
my
else?
other half, better known as my better half.
Well, we
Salute, Jen. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Jenny Jen, what's up?
Yes, sir.
Pocket Rocket.
Hey, that's the pocket rocket.
Hey, I don't know, G Money. I think that's only the name that Pippin Pippin gave it that nickname, so it might be trademarked to just Pippin.
Right. She might not answer you. She might not answer you on that one. For sure.
No doubt.
All right, Bishop Fly, it's my turn to ration, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm trying to be like you, man.
You know, I've been working on it since I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, hey. So you ain't got that dedication.
It just keep curling up, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Up to yesterday, I asked my wife. I was like, "Is there any like beard perm to straighten my?"
Hey, I got the secret for you, buddy. I got the secret for you.
All right, Mr. Fly, you kind of explained my first question because I sure was gonna rant you about the first couple of videos you did, where it was just some video and then it cut off with some empty quotes. So we know how that happened. So we gonna go ahead, tell us about the meaning of the name and how the name relates to the epic raps. You and I know you had 2 raps on the Hellcat, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm on my
3.
third.
Yeah,
I'm about to say. I was gonna ask you, are you gonna bring that third one out? Is it gonna be ready for Gap Fest, or are we gonna have to wait?
No, he on the third one now.
No, I'm on the third one now.
Yeah.
Oh, you on the third one now?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us the background for the raps, the name and the raps that you chose.
All right. So when I first joined the military, so education was a big thing with my mom. So went to school. I got a full scholarship to go to school for mechanical engineering. I always tell the story. I was like, yeah, I went to mechanical engineering, but I was studying gynecology for the first 2 years of college. If that makes any sense. So I applied for Embry-Riddle to switch over to like do aerospace stuff because I always wanted to do something with flying. And at the time, like we didn't understand, like my parents didn't know about like student loans or FAFSA or anything. Being from Jamaica, and I was the oldest, so they told me the amount. I was like, "Oh, we don't have that money. I can't go to college." And I saw a commercial say, "Join the Air Force. We'll pay for college." I was like, "Ooh, that's what I'm gonna do." So I called my mom and dad. I was like, "Hey, I'm going into the military. I'm going into the Air Force." My mom was like, she was like, "I got two." She was like, "Man, I wanted you to change up your life in a good direction, but I didn't think that was it." So, as I said before, I was a knucklehead afterwards. I told Rella all that stuff, in the past. Yeah. So my mom said, she was like, "Remember, even the devil in hell have rules." So I was like, "Okay." And then my dad was like, "I give you 6 months before they put you out."
Oh. Man, he didn't even get 12 months. He gave me 6 months. He gave me 6 months.
He said, "This knucklehead."
Yeah. So actually, that was like part of my motivation to stay in. So I came in. I wasn't a citizen, so the jobs that I thought I could get, I couldn't get. So I finally got my citizenship in 2005, and I applied for retraining to become a flyer. Then I deployed. So it was a long while. I got to the very end and they said, "Oh, I'm not gonna sign off your flight physical because you need a shaving waiver." So pretty much they like discriminated against me because I was black again. It took me 7 years to become a flyer of going back and fighting. So I had given up on the dream of like becoming a flyer. It took like back and forth going 7 years and I kind of like gave up on it. So I got the call one day like, "Hey," it was like on a Friday. It was like, "You start school on Wednesday." I was like, "What?" And I hit the ground running. At first I wanted to do helos because that's that's where all the action was at. But I ended up on 130s. So I did that and then I transferred over. You have to fly on regular 130s before you could come on special operation 130 to do a bunch of crazy. So the name mission flyer comes. So when you in training, you're a UF, which is an unqualified flyer. And then when you graduate, you're just a regular flyer. And then when you become fully combat mission capable, you become a mission flyer. So like MF, which would be a mission flyer. And because I was a flight engineer, it's a F. So like by my name on the flight orders, it'll say like my last name, my last for my social, and then it'll say MF. Stands for mission flyer, and I always did all that. So like when I came up with the name, I was like, I need something that means something to me. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do mission flyer. So that's how I came up with mission flyer for that. And as far as the first rap, I was, as I said, they gave me a hard time to become a flyer because I was African American. So the first one, I was like, you know what? I want to do something different. So I was like, I'm gonna wrap my car like a P-51 Mustang Red Tail. So I hit up a few other companies before, and I was like, no, that's not possible. So I actually came across Metro Rap on like Instagram when I was deployed. I was like, hey, I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'm deployed. This is what I am wanting. You think you could do it? So I was like, we could work on it. But when you come back, you could do it. So my first rap was an exact replica of a P-51 Mustang, Red Tail. Of course, you guys know that was the first all-black fighter squadron, and they deployed and did some things. So that one was actually named Kitten. So that's how I had the Kitten, had the number. It was flown by Colonel McGee. So that one, 78 was rebadged, and it was actually shot down at the end of the war. And the guy, Woody Spears was his name. He was a prisoner of war, and he actually was alive. He finally passed away like in 2008 in California. So that's how I went with I came up with that idea. So it was like a homage to the African American flyers before me.
Yeah, man, that's that right there. Y'all really got to take note because I know he's kind of giving you the overall, but there's history in what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when he talk about red tails and stuff like that, make sure y'all do y'all homework on that, man.
Yeah, do your homework and go back on his videos. Now, all your raps, are they inspired by black fighter squadrons or?
Yes, all of them are.
So I just wanted to let people know that know. Go ahead.
So the second one was so the rap company there. I was like, hey, I wanted to get a touch up on the rap, and he was like, the owner was like, there's a competition called Rap Like a King, and what it is, it's you enter a rap. Every rap company in the world submit a car. And then the car goes for North America, there's South America, Europe, Asia, and the Pacific. So he's like, I want to enter your car into it. I was like, well, if we do that, I want to change it to like my car. Like, I want it to be like, if I flew P-51s, this is what I'd want it to be. So like, I changed the number to 77. That was the year I was born. Got my name on the door. My kid's name is on the other door. The airplane number is my wife's birthday, and then the side was a patch from one of the all black fighter units. So we did all that, and it actually in 2018 at SEMA. That's why I'll say I have the best rapper in the world. It won for North America, and at SEMA, everybody from the world that's in the rap industry voted. And I won for the best rap in the world at SEMA in 2018. So they flew me out to SEMA, so I was out there for it.
So when y'all seen that promo video that we put out there was no capping in that. You know what I mean?
Right. No cap.
No cap. So there's like a big like crystal trophy. I told them they could keep it down. I probably would have broke it already. So I told them they leave it down there at the place. So the car is wrapped 3 times. It's completely wrapped in chrome first. It's wrapped like it has a reflective layer. It has like a 3D feel, all the rivets you could touch. And then it's wrapped with a graphic and a clear over that.
Hey.
So like the door jambs are done, the trunk is done, the engine bay is done. And I'm kind of OCD like that. So like everything had to be like, match up.
Yeah, I mean, I seen the detail, the rivets, everything, man. Crazy. So, are you gonna? I know. Are you getting that rap put on the dually now? Or are you coming up with a new rap?
So I had a rap on the truck, and I was gonna put a rap. I'm gonna put a rap on the 3500. But
3500.
But I think for this year, I was gonna change it up and go something completely different again.
Okay.
Because like I like to be different. Because like now, not to say there's nothing wrong with it. Like everybody has a rap. Everybody has a crazy rap. You have to have the philosophy that to be comfortable with yourself. There's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always going to be somebody richer than you. So it's just, you got to be comfortable in your own lane. So I did this thing, and I was like, I want to go, like, my car was a show car on airbags now. I was like, I want to, now that I've given up, now that I'm done retiring, I quit flying, I got to pick another high risk activity.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Something for the adrenaline.
I know, right?
Yes.
All right, brother. So, you know, you got a few whips there, man. You are a certified fly car
Yeah.
enthusiast. So you know what I'm saying? Tell us about your vehicles. Now going back, I done seen some vehicles and I didn't know if they was yours or not. But tell us about some of the vehicles you got now and some of your favorites from the past.
So what I have now, so I have the Hellcat, I have the Ram 3500. The only reason I got that so I could tow the car. Then we have the Pontiac GTO, a 05 Pontiac GTO, and then we have the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 1979 C10. A Chevy C10. Yeah. I have a 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix LJ.
Oh, can I get that about you? I'm not.
But you know, like I was talking to Stunner about it. I was like, I rarely see that. I was like, maybe because like an ugly duckling of a year, because you know the front is different and the taillights is different, but it looks just like a Monte Carlo, but it's just a little bit different. I was like, it's like the ugly duckling. And then I'm all yeah. So and I have a couple of older Volvos and stuff like that.
Those Volvos, man, they were like runners forever, ever. They was the workhorses, bro.
Yeah.
So before that, man, I loved cars. So like, I used to change cars all the time. So like, I had a F-150, the Sport all blacked out. I had a Saab. I had a Trailblazer. I had a Chevy.
Wait a minute. You said Saab now?
Yeah.
Were you talking about the '86 drop?
So that's what I learned to drive on. So my dad was originally he came over here, and he joined the army for a little bit, and he was stationed in Germany. So actually, I learned to drive on a Saab 900. It got that curve.
The paid in full joint, huh?
Yeah.
You ain't had a BBS's on it, did you? You ain't had a BBS's on it, did you?
Yeah. But one car I wish my dad still had. I definitely say he had the BMW 633 with the BBS's, that one with the slant nose. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro! I almost caught one of those. I almost caught a 650, and the dude let it go. He let it get towed.
Man.
Yeah. That's dope,
so I've
man.
always loved cars, and I'm always gonna be into cars. And I said I'd put my I had a down, like I talked to Relly Rails. I have a deposit for a Z06, but I don't know if those ever gonna come out. But now, like, maybe I could do something else or buy something else. I don't know. It changes every day. But I do like the Z06, and it's supposed to be wider. I do like the new C8 though. It's different. It's a game changer, and I think it's
C8 is nice.
Yeah.
C8 is real nice, man.
Yes, sir. But that Z06, now that it's pushed back to 23, I think now. So.
Yeah, they push it back to 23. So
going
back,
but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I keep spending my money on other stuff.
They talking about another one that that's coming. I don't know if it's for sure or not, but it'll be, they call it the Hellcat Killer. I think it's producing
what kind of car is it?
It's a Corvette. It's a C8. I seen a video the other day. It'll have like 700 and some horsepower.
That's gonna be the Z06 with that type of.
No, it's not a Z06. It's not a Z06.
So
they're coming out with two.
So the Corvette. So they're supposed to be the Stingray.
Z06.
There's gonna be a ZR1, and then
there you go.
Zora. And then on top of that one, there's going to be a Zora edition.
Right.
So Zora was the original guy back in the 70s who designed the mid-engine Corvette. So that
Right.
one's supposed to be the top of the top. The
twin
Zoro
turbo or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, see, I knew I wasn't tripping, man. I knew I wasn't tripping.
Hey,
Hey.
look, I ain't trying to get my mind fixed on that one.
Yeah.
I ain't even
I didn't want you to change your mind and be like, hold on,
Nah, 'cause,
let
like
me
they
change
ain't
this
even,
order real quick.
they ain't got
Yeah.
the Z06 locked in yet. So we talking about, 2 other models down the road, bro. You
Yeah.
might talk about 2035 or something.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah.
straight, man. Yes,
All right, Bishop Fly, I'm gonna get on out of here, man, because I want to let my cohorts get. I got a bunch of questions for you, but I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it at this. So, we got Gap Fest coming up with Stunner Reese and Mod to Fame and Demonology. You know what I'm saying? So, what that grill gonna be looking like over there, bro? You breaking out the grill, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I was supposed to bring it out in Dallas, but I think for this one, since I know probably my car won't be ready, I'm waiting on parts. I'll definitely bring the grill out for that one because I'll have time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, y'all heard that. You go to Gap Fest, you better slide over because they say that jerk chicken is on Pizzoid.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to L Boogie. Thank you, Mr. Flyer, bro, for coming out,
Salute.
man. I appreciate you,
man.
bro.
Thank you for your service as well, man.
Oh yes, sir.
All right. Let me go ahead and take a pause for some more people just join in. We got Fast Gato, we got Lefty Two Guns, we got Alvin in the building. Hustle
Silverback.
Hard, huh? Silverback up in the building. I think this might be. Oh, we got Tanner So Lit up in here.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, Tanner?
Yes, sir.
My boy.
Yes, sir. I don't know if we said Danny, but if we didn't, Danny, we got Robert Smith. And I think that's it. If I miss y'all put the thumbs up so I can acknowledge you in here. But man, I know we running time, so I'm gonna make it short and sweet, man. But I'm always thinking of something. Something. So always digging for something in there somewhere. So y'all done cooked your family pet, man. Y'all done cooked the family pet. Come on, man. You done lied to your brother, man. You done lied to your brother and told him that was another goat.
So growing up, that was part of it, So every year for Christmas, our family had a big Christmas thing, and usually you kill 2 goats, you have curry goats, you got all that stuff. So after that, in the beginning of the year, you get 2 little kids, kid, they call it goat kid. And what my job was we had to walk him out and tie him up in the bush while he goes and eat all day, because they'll eat everything, and then you bring them back in the yard so people don't steal them. So we do this all year, and then when it comes time, we already knew what was gonna happen. And me and my 2 little brothers, we'd sit there and we would cry when they go. We'd be like, "Oh, I can't believe it. We're not gonna eat them." And they, of course, the next day they trick us and we're eating curry goat. It's like that's how you kind of grow up. They kind of learn it. You don't become attached as a pet, but as a kid, you have a hard time.
Right.
We had chickens and everything like that too.
Right. I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, but I also did see that you had this curry deer. Like I ain't never heard of that before. I said curry deer.
Anything.
I just cause they have the same meat. They have the same meat consistency.
Right.
I was like, let me try the curry, and it actually tastes real good. Yeah.
So we might have to.
I went hunting in Mississippi on my wife's dad family.
Okay.
I went hunting and got my first deer and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna curry it up. So it's pretty good.
Might have to try that out though. I'm one of the ones I like to try new things. So.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, dude. One of the things when I first seen you, I seen you on New York's channel. I seen you the week before Scary Fast. I think it was a week before.
Yep.
And
with E-Vapors.
Right. So I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who New York was. The only reason why I went to go see him is because Real to Real was going to be on there. So that's how he was the guest, and then it was you, and then it was E-Vapors. And one of the things that I heard was your name, and your name was one of the names when E-Vapors was actually trying to quit, and you're one of the names that came up to encourage him to keep going, and
So,
I salute. Go ahead.
Sorry, not to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I always want to encourage and inspire people. It's not. I don't want to be the best to ever do it, but if I could inspire and help some other people to get above me, I did my job, and just pass it on. So he was there kind of like, here, I'm kind of by myself. It's not like, say, Dallas, where you could network and you got a whole bunch of the YouTube and you could collab and stuff. He's kind of there by himself. I was kind of here by myself. I, do the onesie twosies, and I talked to him. He's like, hey, man. And that was the first time I ever actually talked to E-Vapor, was on New York show. And I was talking, like, no, man, you got to come out. And then when he came out to Memphis, he came in the host. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna. I was like, nah, man. I was like, you got to keep grinding, man. I was like, you got it. You just got to go do the work. You got there are certain people who have something. He have something. It's just that he's one video away from blowing up. I say everyone is one video away from blowing up. So there's certain people you see have something in them, but you just got to give him that extra nudge. He has something in. I was like, he's one video away from blowing up big time and motivating and helping people, because he has that mentality. But at the same time, we have to, as a culture, I like these type of stuff because we're educating the younger kids and the youth and stuff like that. It's like, he didn't have what he had growing up. That motivated him to get to this point. And just like him, we could have went left or we could have went right. So he went right, and he saw, like, hey, I could tell these people these, but sometimes people won't believe you or won't know your struggle because they just see you up here and they think you've always been up here, but you just up here now. You don't look back because looking back don't help you look forward. He's a real good dude. He's real funny too. He's real, and being in the military, you kind of there's certain people you attract to it, and you connect with, and he has that vibe. He has the positive attitude. He's gonna get there. He's willing to help anybody. So he just has to stick it. He's just one video away, but what that video is, we don't know yet. But he's one video away from blowing up big.
That's it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you one of those people that made that possible. You the ones that connected all the pieces. You know what I'm saying? For actually all of us. You know what I'm saying? Me with Rails, Money Rich, G Money, E-Vapors, all of that, believe it or not, connected because we met each other in Memphis, and I met E-Vapors. So salute to you, man, and being the godfather in this whole thing, man. And also, man, it's too. I had a pleasure a couple years ago to meet one of the Tuskegee Airmen. I actually got one of his books, Airman Lieutenant Alexander. He came to Fort Campbell because I'm actually Fort Campbell, 101st Airborne. So I was able to meet him. Yeah, I met him. My mom set it up, and we got to get his book. He autographed it for me. I filmed it. This was a couple years ago. So I put you in that place, man, as a man that, even though they didn't want you to be or give you a hard time to be there, you stuck through it, man. And believe it or not, your history. You know what I'm saying? Your history. I want to salute you for that. And I love how I love how you incorporated your name into it as well, So also salute to that, for sure. And also, man, hey man, I've been noticing You pretty fly, man. You pretty fly, man. It ain't just fly, man. You pretty damn fly, bro. Hey, I've been peeping that shoe game, bro. Cause hey, I'm a shoe fanatic. You know,
Yep.
I love clothes. I've been peeping out them shoes, man. I've been watching the videos. Hey, I've been seeing you out in the shows. I'm like, hey, Mission Fly is fly.
This Fly got that swag.
Hey, he got that
Yeah,
swag.
so
Hey, he went from flying in the air to flying on the track. You know what I'm saying? So,
You want
hey,
to know what's funny about that? What's funny
What's up?
about that is like when I was growing up in Jamaica, I had one pair of shoes, and like I wore that shoes to school and to church. But when you're home and you're at home, you just always you're barefooted, and you have one pair of shoes. You polish it
Right.
up, which you guys call the Clarks.
Mhm.
You know, like the
got some of
Clarks. So
those.
that's all
Yes,
we
sir.
had in
Got
Jamaica.
them
We
Crocs. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
we
Got those
polished
too.
them up. We wore them, took them
Right.
off, and
Yeah.
so when I moved to the States, and I went to like my mom, they took me to Payless. I was like, oh my goodness, I done died and went to sneaker heaven. I was like, let me get one of those. I still to this day remember the shoes that I got. I got some. They were called Pro Wing XJ900, and they look like the Bo Jacksons. They look like the Bo Jacksons.
Yes,
And I was
sir.
like,
Yes,
ooh,
sir.
I'm gonna kill him. I went to
Yeah, you
school. Oh man, like I was by the end of I was crying like every
They
day,
clown
man. They was made fun of my shoes.
hey.
Look, and I was like, I always cry, and I was like, when I could buy my own shoes, I'm gonna buy my own shoes. And then I just, it's just that, you know, it was that part of that mentality, a part of that. So now, at one point, I had over like 300 pairs of shoes, but
Right.
up to recently, I was like, I don't need 300 pairs of shoes. I just, you know, I didn't have, and I said I was gonna do it, and I
Right.
did it.
I done it.
And
Yep.
and I've done it. I've had this, and I was like, it's not. It's all. I have only one pair of feet, but now my son been wearing my shoes left and right.
Right.
He said we gonna put these in good use.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't using them.
but yeah. But that's one thing I always like wearing. Always looking nice and wearing nice shoes, man. And other than working on the cars, you know, get fly and go out and stuff like that.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that,
Tell
man.
eBay
Hey.
he ain't the only one who could do it.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this though. And there's one more thing that I need to say so I can pass it on to my brother. So I think what y'all, you and E-Vapor is gonna need to race for the copyright bald head and beard. I think y'all gonna have to go ahead and race. Y'all gonna have to race for that. You know, hey, he in the building.
I'm gonna have to race him before he get his Tesla.
Hey, however you gonna do it. So we got him in the chat. We're gonna see if he gonna accept that challenge. But hey, I appreciate it, bro.
Okay.
Salute. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Gap Fest, man. And salute to you, brother. You are a humble guy. A lot of these other younger YouTubers can learn a lot from you, because one of the things that I can tell you doing is because you enjoy it. You're not also just doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it because you enjoy it, and you can tell when people like you are actually doing things.
Yeah.
You know, because they love to do it. So I'm gonna tell you to continue to keep doing what you do. Stay humble, and salute to you, brother. I'm gonna pass it on.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna pass it on to this guy. This guy right here. You know what I'm saying?
Zay Toro. Zay Toro and MC. Welcome to the chat.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, really.
What up, Swap?
Swaps in there? Swaps.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Swaps is
Swaps
good.
just
Swap.
popped in.
What up, Swap?
MC the shiznit's in there.
Yes,
MC.
sir. MC.
Yeah, man. Mr. Fly, brother, fellow vet, man, I officially welcome you to customize any ride, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know, like, I do the flyers, you know, that we use, the advertising, the thumbnails and stuff like that for the show. And when it came down to doing yours, man, I had so many directions that I could go with it. And the fact that you're on your third rap right now, it really gave me a lot to work with. And then like the picture I got, that's actually the picture of you from Disney, but I removed what was actually
Disney
on the
World. I was like, this dude's good. I was like, man, Rel is good at his job, man.
Yeah.
he took the little Mickey Mouse off the shirt.
Yeah. It was a Mickey Mouse design on the shirt, so I just took that off and dropped this logo on there.
Yeah.
And what I know is an important staple in who you are in your life is the Air Force. So I made sure that I put that Air Force logo in there as well, brother. So I mean, it was like I said, I think this was the funnest one I got to work with so far. So speaking about the Air Force, you told me you're a mission flyer. For what you can tell people, describe to them some of the things that your job entailed that you can tell them about.
So so it started off. I was a combat engineer on the ground first in 2000. So September 11th happened. September 19th, that was my first deployment, and I was gone. And like after that kind of like changed how I viewed like the world, because at that point, like you see things that like you can't unsee, and you're like,
right.
And a lot of times you're like, man, I'm glad that we're doing this over here and we're not doing this like like stateside.
Yes, sir.
And it's like it's pretty that's why I say you give a lot when you're in. I know it's a volunteer force, we volunteer, but you still give a lot. We've seen a lot. So I did that for a little bit, and then I become a flyer. You're ready and do the special ops stuff. But I've done a lot of things that have changed like the shape of the war, what's going on, and things like that. But it's it's been fun. There's been a few times like me and my crew was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, this is it. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So like I've got to like directly like save not only American lives but lives over there, and you get to see things and do things. And some of the times like that's how people like, how are you so happy and good looking? I was like, man, the things I've seen or been a part of, you can't. I'm just happy to be alive.
It's one of those. If you know what I mean.
Right.
My brother E Vapors, myself, we've all retired after 20 plus years, in the military. So what you're trying to put in the words, I already know what you're talking about. And
right.
I've never been able to put it in a word.
Me neither.
Right.
Me neither.
So like even though like you even when you like like how like I always respect our vets no matter what branch of service, because I was over there with the Marines. I was like, I think the Marines is the craziest dudes. I think they give the Marines something at times. They have to give them something at times.
Devil dogs, man.
Or nuts. So like how I finally like I was out like doing that stuff. I was chasing a high. It was like, hey, you're special ops. You're the tip of the spear. Like when the call come in, we're the first ones to go. We're doing this. Hoorah! Like you leave your family behind. It's like always like, well, if we die. At least we die over there. Your family will be taken care of for the rest of their lives. Your kids will be taken care of, so you're good. But then a lot of you guys, man, I know like. I was in Syria and I came back and I caught like tuberculosis of the heart. And then I was like, it was so like I had a heart attack. And then I was like, like I was on that ride. There's like, we got to transport you to the OR to do like, heart surgery and all that stuff. Like I was just laying there and I was like, man, at the time I was like, what if I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. What if I, like if I kick the bucket or something like that, I'm going to die. I was like, did I do what I really wanted to do? Did I really enjoy life how I wanted to enjoy life? And then like that's when I like took a step back and I was like, I've done what I've done in the military. It's time for younger people to do it. It's time for me to really reel back and like enjoy my hobby, enjoy my family, because like I was some years I was gone 288 days out of the year. People would ask me what grade is your kids, and I was like,
Nah,
I think fifth. I'm not sure.
Right.
You know when you find out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, and my car actually, like when I came back home, the car was my therapy per se. Like I come out and I'll be by myself and work on the cars. Like people can't understand. It's like, oh, you miss your family, you're gone, but when you come home, it's like you have to kind of like adjust yourself
Yes,
back
sir.
into regular society. So my car was my what I dreamt of. So cause I was in a job where it's called high risk of isolation. So you have a high risk of getting captured. So we go to survival school. So they always like, if you ever get captured, you have to think positive. Always just dream of something in your head to keep you,
Yep.
not to say like to keep you alive, to keep you motivated to stay alive.
Mhm.
So I always like just dreamt of like stuff on my car. Like some of the guys that was at the Hanoi Hilton and stuff, they dreamt about playing golf in their head all the time. So, we've had people who were hostages come and talk to us like we was held hostage. This is what they do. I've been on hostage recovery stuff. So, it's all full circle. So,
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to be done. That's why I like YouTube.
Mhm.
I didn't join YouTube to get fame and fortune and money. It's like L Boogie's like, hey, because when L Boogie first walked to me, he's like, he's like, Mr. Paul, what's going on? I'm looking at him, I was like, who is this? I was like, who is this? And then like, it's L Boogie. I was like, oh, I know you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I saw Fly by G Money, Swervo, you. It's like, it's family. It's not. It's even though we're far apart. Like if I have a bad day, I go. I watch your YouTube videos. It's just something different. I could Rel else. He has my number. I call him. Say, hey man, what's going on? He'll call me, ask me some like some DA questions. E-vapes, he could call me. You always have something. Hey man, it's a main man. E-vape is today.
Family, though. You know what I mean?
That's why I think it's a big community, and I think as like African American, I love what you guys are doing. New York is doing Free Smoke. It's just like bringing everybody together in a positive way, because we have to build our own self and keep each other accountable for what we do.
Definitely,
because as I said, the kids are watching, so we want them to go, hey, anything is possible. You could dream you want a Lamborghini, you could go get a Lamborghini.
You can do it.
You just have to work for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, guys, like he's like I said, it's Mission Fly. He loves to fly. And if you go back, and this is, I'm gonna tell you guys, I tell you every time before a guest comes on, if I haven't already, I'll go and I'll sort their channel from oldest to newest, and I'll start binge watching. I got that from my brother E-Vapors, right? So, okay, you know where they at now, but learn how they got there. So, you had the privilege to fly in one of those acrobatic planes, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience. Now, this plane, man, it looked like it was about the length of a Honda Civic or something. Like, it didn't look long to me at all.
It's real. And believe it or not, that's a kit plane. So they put it together. You buy it as a kit and you put it together yourself.
Excuse me, sir.
What? No,
I
don't know about that.
That plane was previously crashed before. But it's just like, I was like, it's almost like it's the risk. It's like it's like the height of a so like the
adrenaline.
He's got that adrenaline.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's gonna do some loop the loop.
What is it like doing that?
Yeah, you just gotta, it's fun. You gotta, so like being a flight engineer, so my job was I had to know everything on the airplane. I was responsible for all in-flight emergencies. So like I go through, so I gotta know what the capabilities of the plane. So if something goes wrong, so it was like, hey, so like if I shut this engine, because we have shut engines down before for different various reasons. So like I shut this engine down, I'm gonna know what I'm losing as far as everything system wise on the plane for shutting this engine down to make sure that we land safe. Or I may have to do some stuff before I shut this engine down. So it's just like the adrenaline of it. And also on military, on some of the planes, like some of the stuff that we have or we carry, if you ever get intercepted or whatever, your job is to knowingly, like crash the plane so they can't get what's on it.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know. So you just have to have that mindset. I don't have the mindset like, if I was supposed to die in a plane crash, I'm supposed to die in a plane crash.
That's understandable. And what I love about this interview and talking to you, bro, is an unspoken message that's being said, and I want to make sure everybody get it. It's live today like it's your last, because you never know. Go do the things that you want to do. Don't put off and say, I'll go fly here, or I'll go take this boat trip later. Later might not come. So take this from Mission Fly right now. And like I said, we all see how he's upbeat and always is excited and happy. That's the wave you want to be on. That's how you're going to enjoy life. So make sure we all take that, man. So,
and then if anything that the teacher this past year, this pandemic, taught us to go out and you never know, go out and enjoy your life. I kind of like, so the Big Showdown was like a big reunion to see everybody. I was just excited. Like my wife usually, she never comes to anything, so she was like, "Oh, I'm coming to this event." I'm not saying
and that's an, I think that was therapy for a lot of us too. To be able to come to the Big Showdown, man. So L Boogie had brought up because with him, being a connoisseur of the sneakers, and I know that you are. Well, I guess you're kind of phasing out of your real heavy sneakerhead days. And your son is following, in your footsteps now. Now, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna connect two dots that maybe the chat room hasn't connected, right? From your life as a kid to your son, right? Remember we talked. Did we talk about that on air? No, was that on air? When we talked about your dad and how he when he came home after the day, what he put on the counter.
Oh yeah.
So right here. You just talked about that.
So now what you were doing and getting, make sure you had your donuts at school. You were going and get $5 or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you kept doing it. Now there was a story that you told in one of your videos about one day where the time you left to go to work and the time you get home, you never seen your son in between going to school and coming back home.
Yeah.
let them know what happened with that, so they could connect. The story.
So usually what it is. But like I couldn't be mad at him because I kind of did the same thing.
Did the same thing.
So usually what it is. So by the time when I usually be gone before they go to school, and they usually come home before I get home. So what he used to do is he used to wear my shoes and put them back in the box before I get home. So I'd never know. So one day I had to go and pick him up, and he's sitting there waiting. His mom was supposed to come and pick him up. He's just chilling waiting. He saw me pull up, and he was like this. He was like, but see, everybody in the house was in on it except for me.
Oh man.
Oh.
So everybody on the
my wife was like, hey, she'd be like, hey, make sure you put those up before he comes, because I was like, hey, and so now I was like, you know what? I was like, you could wear them. He's like, I can. So he'll come, and I was like, if you wear them, you got to bring them back and put them back in the evening. So
and they better be clean. They better be clean too.
Right.
Yeah. So he's like, Dad, look, I walk a certain. So he's walking all funny, and his sister was like, "What do you do?" He's like, I can't put in the creases in these.
I believe when you would have showed up, I would have had those shoes on. You would have asked me what happened to them. I would have said I done lost my shoes or somebody that stole them when I was in the gym. You know what I'm saying? They would have been in my book bag somewhere. As soon as I got to the house, I would have threw them in there.
Yeah, put them in my backpack.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't have nowhere to go. He would see Dad pull up on him. He couldn't do nothing.
But you know, I was like, but I don't mind, man. I was like, as long as each one of our generation do something to make the next generation a little bit better. So like I always tell my wife, I was like, this younger generation right now is a generation that's gonna make the biggest change in the world for us as African Americans, because they're more woke. But like our parents or grandparents, they still have that mindset of, oh no, we can't do that. We're gonna get in trouble. Like you gotta just break it. Like, man, forget that.
Right.
Yeah, like these kids now, they're like, you're not just gonna tell us something and we're gonna believe it. We gotta see it. You know,
Right.
like you ain't just gonna tell us that, you know, this is our history. We want facts. You know, now they want receipts.
Right. Yep.
You know, so that's what it is, man. And also, you know, just through my time, really, you know, getting engaged with your channel, bro. Like there's several people that I follow like heavily on Instagram, and it was amazing that when I ran across this video, I seen one of the people that I follow real heavy on Instagram because I like his story. The guy, the real Tarzan. Right. If y'all don't know who the real Tarzan
yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
He's
the real Tarzan.
Yeah. Don't get no more simpler than that.
Right.
I like his backstory. And that's what really got me into him. So hey, tell them about how you got the opportunity to link up with him and where you guys were at down in Miami when it happened.
Yeah, so it was down at Miami. I went down there to the wrap place, and he had seen my car. He took his car to the place to get wrapped. He had like a truck and he had a BMW that he wanted to get wrapped. And he came in and he saw, you know, the car, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Oh man," he's like, "What?" He's like, "You gotta take me for a ride in this thing." And he has to know the real Tarzan. He is like, I'm doing like 100 down this road. He's hanging. He's like out the car screaming.
Like a Tarzan. Like Tarzan would do.
Right.
Yeah. Man, he's like, man, I love this car, man. He's like, oh man, I took him for a ride in it. And he was like, and then I was like, how did you get big? You know, like I always ask people like, how did you get big? He's like, man, I stuck to what I knew. He was like, I got that one lucky chance that I got. And he blew up. He's like, so he was always doing the animal stuff. He had like little videos. He says P. Diddy had called him to do a party or something, and he had brought some animals, and he was there. And then he was in Miami, and then LeBron was like, hey, could you come and show the kids some animals? So he brought the kids some animal, and then he was like, Will Smith called him, like hit him up and said, hey, come out here and do this. He's like, okay, all right, I'll.
Back to Miami, he had over 1 million followers. He was like, he turned his phone up, the phone just froze. And
like that.
He's just that one lucky. He's like, I'll say, you just need that one lucky break, or not necessarily lucky. It's just, you know, just your chance, or it's your time, and you take the moment and win with it. Yeah. And he was like, and after that, the rest was history.
Because you know what Michael Jordan says luck is, you know what I mean? And I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard what he says. Basically, when opportunity meets preparation,
right? You
know, so he had been preparing himself all along for this moment, and you know he got that opportunity, man, and it's amazing just to see like the picture you guys took together where y'all jumped up in the air, and the caption he put up there, he's like doing hood rat things with my hood rat friends and whatnot. I was dying laughing, man. I was dying laughing. Brother, So my car question for you, like I said, here we like to talk about a majority of things about you as a person, the story behind the car. So I'm gonna get to my car question now. You got to a wrap on your car, and it had a very symbolic image on the roof of the
Okay.
car. I think, like, I don't know if the culture if the world might not have been ready to see a rap like that, but
They
there have been. I know they I've seen a lot of raps to follow though. I will say
Yeah.
that. So you're definitely the OG in the Godfather in
Absolutely.
setting those statements. What happened with that, and why did it change?
So before, after that, it was like almost a P-51 type, like Dukes of Hazzard type style rap that I had on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard as a kid,
Yeah.
and like until I came to America and went and joined the military, I really didn't know anything about like true racism or like symbols of racism, stuff like that.
Right.
Came from a different culture.
Mhm.
And then like that happened, and in the world, like George Floyd, all the stuff was just going on. I was like, nah, I need to go and represent something for me, for my kids. And I went and I was like, you guys see, I got the black fist I put it on the roof, and people like was DMing me like hate messages about it. And then I was like, I was like, hey, it ain't. Let me know where you at.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
Bring it on, player.
I was like, it is what it is, but it's supposed to be. I first had done that, but now, like, I say other people have done it, but it wasn't. I like doing something different. And people are like, why? I was like, because this affects me. I have my son. He just got his license. I'm like, me and my wife were scared to set him out there on his own to go.
You gotta have the talk.
You're right. So I had to talk.
Right.
I was like, hey, you get pulled over. Pull over. Call me or your mom first. Say, hey, I got pulled over. I'm here. I was like, put your hands where you can see him. And I was like, by law, they ain't gonna like it. You don't have to answer any questions. I was like, for sure, wherever you at, we're gonna make sure we're racing to come there. So that's how it is. And I went to a car meet one night. So and somebody actually like keyed my rap.
That hurt. Yeah, serious, man. Now I did get to see the layers of the rap when you were getting it repaired.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that was pretty dope to see, but not at the cost of what happened. Though.
Right.
I mean, but it affects me, so it affects my people, affects what I believe in. I'm gonna always do what I believe in, and I'm always, even if it's not popular, I'm gonna do it because that's the way I was just raised, and that's how I was bred in the military. So I'm not gonna shy away from it because it's not popular. People don't, but it's what affects me, my community, my family, everything like that. So I say everything coming. I was like, it's a rap. People get mad. I said younger me would have been, hey, where just.
Yeah, it would have been a total different story.
Right. Right.
But at the end of the day, it's a material thing. It did more positive than it did negative, and it caused a reaction to somebody to say that they want to do that, and hey, they're allowed to their right, but not destroying my property.
Exactly.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Hey, they weren't gonna do it with you standing there.
No way.
And the reason why I brought that up is because I want to let people that's in the chat and people that's rewatching this to know that, bro, this stuff is still happening today, man. And this is, it's not like you went and put a big old sign up on a government building or anything like that. No, this is your property, and
My
then
personal
someone
property that I worked hard for and I paid
Yeah.
for.
it's still relevant to this day. And just speaking on doing those types of things to your car, I want to salute to a guy named I think it's Damn Jody. I think he's out of Texas.
Out of
And,
Houston.
out of Houston.
Yeah, the
And he got-
barber.
Yeah, the red eye barber.
Yeah, and
Red Eye
and,
Barber.
and seeing the images that he's got on his rack and stuff like that, to me,
Beautiful.
it's like, okay,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mission
That's a
Flyer,
beautiful
in my-
car.
In my
Man.
opinion, and I don't care what nobody say, this is my opinion, and you ain't gotta like it. Mission Flyer was a precursor to what this gentleman did to his car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I
said,
think so.
salute to him as well, you know. So Mr. Flyer, I appreciate you giving me your time, brother. I always appreciate when I can hit you up
Oh yeah.
and ask
And
you
I
questions.
appreciate the
Y'all
job
don't
me, man. Like when I was like, I need a new intro. He's like, I do intros. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna pay you to do an intro because people, even though we're friends, you have to pay people what they're worth because we
course.
would pay somebody we don't know that amount of money. Why not pay somebody we do know and
Exactly.
do that job? We just gotta start, have that mindset and look out for each other. That's why,
Yeah.
hey
Right.
man, you guys are, to me, you
Right,
guys are
right,
family,
right,
man.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you though, bro. Like doing your intro, I had to learn some things that I didn't know how to do. So I appreciate the request for what you wanted done or whatnot. So if y'all look at Mission Flyer intro,
Right.
when he was like, "Man, how about a plane flying through and then the logo spinning and stuff like that?" Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all one
I
thing.
was dope, bro.
Hey, look,
I'm
gonna educate y'all on something real quick. If y'all starting a business, if you just got your business started, or somebody wants something, man, you talk to them like you've been doing it for 30 years, man.
Yes,
I'm like,
sir.
oh yeah, I got you, brother. I'm gonna make that happen. But
Right.
what I do, I went straight to YouTube. Let me figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Like for
Been
people
there,
like
done that.
Mission Flyer and people that I know are good, genuine people, if they really want something done, I've got the ability and the talent and the mindset to go figure it out so they can have what they want. And that's what I pride myself on in doing my graphics,
Right.
So brother, I appreciate all of the VA information you gave me because
Yep.
right now he got me sitting like a fat rat, with this VA compensation. So I appreciate that. You and my brother E Vapors, man. I can't thank both y'all enough for that, man. So continue doing what you do, brother.
You do what you got to. I watch y'all, and even so, a lot of times, even at work, I just turn it on. I could just listen to it,
Right.
right, and just
Yeah,
still
man.
watching it like that.
Right.
Absolutely.
sure.
I appreciate everything, man. So just got to give it back to the show host, Money Rich, man. And like I said, brother, we'll be in contact, of course.
Yep.
Hey, nobody mentioned those the big old bottles you got back there. You popping bottles back there, ain't you? You got them bottles in the back. You got them serious bottles in the back. Golly.
I'm about to mention something. I'm about to mention something about him.
Yeah, the bar ain't playing, bro. The bar ain't playing. He make my bar in the trunk.
Man.
You got the bottles back there, right?
Right.
And then he doing some out trucking out here. He out trucking folks out here. I ain't gonna mention no name or nothing like that. He got the bottles going. Something heavy coming from Mission Flyer. That's all I'm gonna say. Gotta be
something coming. There's some big bottles, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Man, Mr. Flyer, man. You my boy and everything, man. But I gotta break it down to you like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? You might crack open one of them bottles you got back there because you ain't moving fast enough and get up out of here because it's time for you to go.
You ain't got to go home, even though you at home. You got to get up out of here, bro.
Man, you told me to go extra fast though with the bottle.
Hey, that's what I'm talking
Got
about.
you with the Nas.
Man, he got with the Nas, man.
I thought he was about to fly out the room, though.
I know, right?
He was about to take off.
Hey, that was the best response to our send off. That's the best response to our send off.
Exactly.
Look for that clip to come soon.
Right.
But for real, Mr. Flyer, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been a pleasure, man. You gave us a real history lesson, and I appreciate it, man. Cause I learned some things that I didn't know. So I watched, a lot of your videos. So I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the chat,
Yes, sir.
it's time for y'all to go too. Y'all can't do it, but y'all got to get up out of here too, man. Cause man, we gonna go home. I'm finna eat and
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
and do the
Salute kicking with Alvin. He always on here for us. Good support.
No doubt.
Appreciate you.
No doubt,
So
no
I
doubt.
thank everybody for coming in. You know what I'm saying, and supporting. And we'll see y'all on the next episode. So this is Carnation, baby, and we out.
We out.